chin into chest, tailbone lengthens to the space between your knees. A few more like that. Breathing in.
All right, everyone, what's going on? Thank you for joining me for this one. Just a few minutes here, about 4 minutes of a pull day, and this pull day was exceptional. I don't know where we left off last on my voiceovers, but I really just want to start off by saying thank you for watching. I'm going to do my best to keep up with the comments and keep bringing you all content. Like I briefly stated in the last video, some things happened this weekend to a loved one of mine, and without just getting too much into it, just I know I've been through a lot personally, and my ups and downs are difficult to overcome, but to see someone you really care about go through something possibly harder than you've ever gone through in your whole life, your entire life of pain and suffering, when you see someone you love and they're like at another level just like that, it's I don't know how to describe it, but let's just say aside from feeling grateful, blessed, and fortunate, you also feel kind of confused and angry and scared at what's going to be different going forward. So yeah, just leaving that out there. I don't know if I'll ever touch on it more, but it's going to be affecting me slightly. So if you guys see me a little sad, a little worried, that's just something I'm going through right now. But I'm no stranger to going through difficult things. It's just hard when you have to watch someone else handle that, because I know I can suffer and I know how much I can feel and how much pain I can withstand, and it doesn't feel good. So knowing someone else might be there is very unsettling. But that said, let's get on to this workout. And once again, on the note of being grateful, if you guys do scroll back and see a gentleman who looks pretty jacked on the seated row, he came up to me and was I guess we'll say a fan or a follower of a couple of years, and he gave me his Instagram, so shout out to you, bro. And he already hit me up for some questions, which this rest of this video might be about. So we'll get to touch on SARMs and things like that, because obviously the SARM questions are real in 2019. Let's press. Alright guys, so there you saw what it's like when you start putting some weight over your head. That was 145 for 8 or 9 reps. Doesn't matter to me because I'll be doing 175 for 5 by the end of the year or however. But yeah, pull day with a proper press session. All I did for my presses was the barbell for a few reps, 95 pounds for like 5 reps, 115 for a couple reps, 135 for a working set, and 145 for a working set, and that was it. So yeah, even on a full push session, 3 or 4 warm-ups, 2 or 3 working sets for your push compound, keep your delts growing. You don't want to just train one side of your body. I mean, I say that with a grain of salt. It just doesn't make sense to be dogmatic. Just a word that I love. So, typical pull workout. Actually, it's the identical pull workout I do all the time. Didn't do much arms, like I said. It's tough, man. It's tough to just be in my own head right now and be thinking about other people's heads and stuff like that. And as you all know, and when life gets hard, sleep gets hard, eating meals gets hard, keeping up with your relationships gets hard, and then whether working on your physique or working towards your goals makes you happy, at the end of the day, you're just lifting weights to get physically stronger, but how you feel on the inside is very limited when you're applying basically physical endeavors to change your feeling, to change what's valuable and what you're devoting your energy to. So while I do appreciate the physical and I do appreciate bodybuilding, it's not a lifelong servant to you in a sense of it's going to be there for you all the time to lift you up, but it's always a tool that you have to utilize, whether it's giving you what you think you need or not. So let's stay strong. And thank you guys. Peace. All right, everyone. So please bear with me. I'm going to do my best at answering this question and discussing this topic of SARMs aka SARMs, aka selective estrogen receptor modulators, aka basically imitation anabolics, we'll say. So first things first, nothing illegal can be discussed here. TRT is going to be referred to a legal prescription you can get for your doctor, and SARMs in the US are not illegal to possess. So please check the laws of your country on SARMs, and we'll get started right now. So I got a specific question from someone basically saying that what would they recommend to counter the side effects they're experiencing with SARMs? And the ones in question are MK28666 or 66 and LGD4033. So what I found most interesting was that this person is basically using these SARMs and having side effects that you would get on something like TRT, or perhaps a little bit higher than TRT. And from my understanding and from the general understanding on the internet, the reason that SARMs are being used is because they are side effect free, less risky, and can provide almost as much gains as testosterone or testosterone replacement, or perhaps a cycle of testosterone. But in my experience with the users that are currently utilizing these products, the results are never better. They're never the same, which would be hard to measure anyways. And the side effects, which are non-existent, are the same side effects that people claim to get when they are running a testosterone or exogenous testosterone prescription. So my point is that there's no free ride when it comes to getting results like testosterone replacement therapy. And it brings me back to one of the first things I learned in the supplement industry, is that as soon as something is legally or scientifically declared to work, or to have a drug-like effect, or to have an effect like the hormones in your body, it can no longer be a supplement, it's a drug. People have been taking testosterone, we've had it in our bodies the entire evolution of humanity, whereas SARMs are a few years old. What are SARMs trying to do? Mimic this hormone that we've had our entire lives that is anabolic. What is it failing to do? Mimicking it exactly. What is it successfully doing among users like teenagers and kids in their 20s? Providing the same side effects that you would get from a drug or a hormone that's naturally occurring in your body, which will result in no side effects when taken correctly. So what is the correct dosage for SARMs that won't give you side effects, that will give you gains as if you were taking testosterone? It's basically impossible. So the questions people are asking me is, hey man, how can I get these results like you'd get on TRT with no side effects while doing it legally and not having to worry about any risk? It's literally impossible. There will never be something like that on planet Earth. And if there is, there'll be movies about it, videos about it, political candidates about it, huge, uproar about it. So my thoughts on SARMs is that it's kind of like asking my thought on something, a new piece of technology that's about to come out. If it's similar and it gives me the same benefits and it's cheaper, these are good things. But when you finally acquire and it doesn't work, it doesn't matter how close it is, how similar it is. If it isn't the same and it's not doing the same, there's really nothing that you can do as far as getting advice. So those are my thoughts on it. I do not feel comfortable talking about them. I do not feel comfortable recommending them. If you are a young man who thinks they need SARMs, go to a doctor and explain to them what's going on and try to get testosterone replacement therapy, something that I will be doing very soon. Peace. SARMs, bro. And I want to leave you all with one thought before I head out here. It's kind of hard to put together, but I'll say it briefly. I think a lot of the problem with SARMs, whether it's getting info, getting help, getting a coach, whatever, is people compare the results to test or to TRT. So they're like, oh man, this, if you do it for a month, this SARM, you're going to get this much of what you would have gotten with a TRT or more, but with no side effects, because it's going to work directly at the muscle, not through your whole body. So that'd be kind of like saying, man, creatine stores the muscle, it's 50% as good as an anabolic cycle. People would struggle to measure that. They'd go on creatine and be like, man, so this is like about half of... No, you can measure the weight gain from creatine and the strength slowly, and it makes sense to us. There's no reason to compare it to something else. So the fact that SARMs are being compared to and basically piggybacked on something that we know as a drug, I think is kind of shooting itself in the foot, or that's kind of a marketing or just the fate of the internet that's kind of causing issues with people trying to get into them. So that's all I have to say on that. Don't compare it to other things. Try to learn what it's doing, and if that's something you want, consider it. But peace. All right, round 2 on these shoes. Although I'm like 15 years late to the party, it's never too late. Save reusable bags for returns. We did it. I had to return my size 10s for size 9.5s. Feels, but I guess these run really small, so let's try them. Let's see what you got. We did it! Yes! It's official.